And it seems that we are live from Plovdiv in Bulgaria to watch the finals of the World Championships in Savat, the part that is of Canne de Combat. And it's been great days here in Plovdiv, the second biggest city of Bulgaria, that has been famous for sports successes, especially during the Soviet time, that they are now trying to revive through inviting, for example, the Savat World Cup, but also putting big bets into rowing. And now we are about to start the men's final here at the arena. And in yellow helmet support protection, we see Benjamin Lat from France, and now greeting the audience was Jan Jug from Slovenia. And together with me here to comment upon the matches is Luis Valentin, and my name is Max Valentin. And they are about to start, Luis. Isn't this exciting?
It's so exciting. We're really looking forward to this the whole afternoon.
And we've been wanting to do this broadcast as good as possible, but we are afraid that the sound quality won't become any better than this. So we hope that you still can enjoy some of the comments, or to watch the final with no sound. The arbitre, the main judge in the center, is from Germany. He started the game. And around the court are 3-point judges. Okay, so Luis will be filming it, and I will be saying something. Difficulties with live streaming. So, but then we have a following camera instead. Okay, we can see the match starting out in high tempo. The different competitors trying to hit each other on the 3 areas that gives you a score, which is the helmet, the side of the stomach, and below the knee. And you try to trick each other into opening these areas up and strike there. And to do this, you have many different versions of attacks to use. We can see the speed of Benjamin Lat, who is the incumbent world champion, who has actually won 3 world championships before. He has been dominating this sport totally since 2012 and is a favorite in this game as well, against this Slovene fighter who is in his first final. And Jan Jug, he comes from a club in Ljubljana, who is here with a strong presence, who has cheered him all the way to the top, where he is really doing his best to challenge Benjamin. But as you can see, Benjamin has extremely fast counterattacks. And to attack the leg, you need to do like Benjamin did there, to go down lower to hit the leg. For example, there he got a straight hit. And for the opponent to counterattack, he needs to parry to retake the initiative. And now there is a pause for a half a minute. And Louise will come down and give her response.
Oh, this was so exciting, but I was mostly looking at the screen, so it was quite hard. But what I can tell you is that we have 2 different coaches. So Jan has the coach Masha from Slovenia, and Benjamin's coach is Guillaume. Oh no, something happened. Who is the national coach of France?
There is me. Oops. This was much more difficult than we expected.
We had a really good camera stand from the beginning, but then Facebook changed everything. But Max, you will take over the mic.
No, thank you very much. The rounds, there are 2 minutes, and then they pause here to catch their breath again for 30 seconds. And now they're back in the center to do the second of 3 rounds. In the back in white shirt, we see the point judge from France, Armel. And Benjamin starts out hard, but gets... Yeah, Jean-Jug really has answers to these attacks. Not being afraid at all of meeting a 3 times world champion. Fearless Slovene. As we can see, they are doing very much of an attack from their outside right into the middle, and a high strike called latéral extérieur, which is probably the fastest attack you can do. And in previous competitions, there has been different rules. There have been a change of rules into this World Championship. Before, you only counted the strikes, and the person with most strikes won. But now the judges are weighting in how much you vary your play and how well you have a fluidity in the game, which has actually changed the dynamics quite a lot compared to before. Much more playful and interesting matches, I think, personally. You can see Benjamin doing vaults to try to find the opening, and he does that in a way to hide what he's going to attack with. Very nice series of strikes. I think John taking down the tempo a little bit, maybe to find the balance after that series of strikes. Maybe John is getting slightly tired here. His movement is not as rapid as it was in the beginning. And now there is another 30 seconds of rest before the last of the 3 sets. We can see the audience here. There are next on our right-hand side. There is the Czech team. And in the male competitions, it was represented by 7 different nations, except from France and Slovenia, who are in the final. It is also Czech Republic, as I mentioned, Serbia, Mauritius, Sweden, of course, where me and Louise are from, and who am I forgetting? Mauritius, yeah.
Serbia,
Slovenia, France, Germany, of course. Germany has a very strong team, but missed the opportunity to enter into the finals on the men's side when Jean-Jug defeated the German fighter in the semi-final. Okay. He didn't strike in the below the knee, so the arbitre, the ring judge, stopped the match to correct this. And if you get too many corrections, you can get a penalty and minus points in the final count.
We got a question if there's any Canadians.
We have a question. How nice. Are there any Canadians? Maybe this watcher remembers that from last year, it was a Canadian who won the silver medal from a Canadian. But this year there has been no Canadian participation in Canne Combat, but in the Boxe Française there was a steady representation from Canada.
And also Korea. Did you see Korea?
One sort of semi-news for this year is that in the female competition there was a Korean girl participating. Wow. Ben does really nice vaults and gets fast out of them into strikes. Falling doesn't necessarily mean that you get a penalty if you're not doing it to disturb the game. Ben Latt is keeping a rather big distance for the moment, probably waiting and sparing his powers for a finale. And there the match ended. Okay. Now we can see the German judge Gerard going around collecting the judgment from each point judge and then going down to the secretariat to give them to Peter, who is chief of the competition.
Du kan säga att det är manliga finalen, för det kommer fråga.
So this is the end of the men's final, and directly after this we will have the females final. After that the victory has been declared. And I would say, Louise, if you could nod here, that we probably have a rather... is it 4 rounds in the finals?
Oh,
I am surprised.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the same surprise as last time.
Yeah. Louise reminds me that we had the same surprise last year, that 2 years ago in the World Cup in Croatia, that there was 4 sets in the finals and only 3 in the others. Maybe that's why Ben saved his strength to the last, because now he's opening really brutally and with quite nice hits. Quite defensive then after that explosion. I can myself tell that in the third round you are quite tired. But Jan Jug seems to still have both his brain and strength there.
He don't get tired.
No, he doesn't get tired, but Ben doesn't get tired either. So this is a good final, since they're both very strong fighters. We got corrected. Yeah, we got the name of the Mathieu Paquette from this from Quebec, where, of course, Canne is a rather strong sport due to their French heritage. Wow, that was cool. He did jump vaults, which is always very nice, and they are very fast, since it's hard to know where exactly you land and strike. Another thing with Benjamin Latt is that he has a spectacular defense. He's very fast and doing parries. And now he's getting into one of those strike series again, probably giving him fairly many points. But Jan Jug from Slovenia is not giving up. He keeps it in there and finds a way to act forward. And there, Peter from Germany, the main judge, stops the clock, and the fighters greet each other.
Okej, nu är det klagomål att vi är för nära. Tycker du kan förklara varför vi är för nära?
Yeah, we get to complain here that we are too close. In the beginning, our plan was to broadcast this in Facebook on with a vertically flipped phone, which was a good way of doing it. But the arena here is very flat, so we can't get any height. So being far away is difficult, because then we will have audience in front of the camera, because the venue was not really prepared for a broadcasting.
The vault was too close.
Now the vault was close. Sorry. That is very true. It's very hard. Ooh. Wow, we have a disco. We have a here now probably, or it's a lights went out. One thing Plovdiv is very famous for is its lightnings and thunderstorms, since it's up in the mountains, which we could experience earlier today. But maybe it's the lightning that has made the generators gone out.
Putting on the phone so we can
Wow,
see
it's like in an Ariadne Grande concert where the audience is illuminating the arena at the Plovdiv Expo.
the machine hall.
Yeah, the machine hall on Plovdiv Expo.
So the judges, you said that they are collecting the results.
Now they are putting the results together over at the secretariat, keeping us under a expectations,
Yeah,
high
now
expectations.
Arno says we should have lightsabers.
That's a very good idea. We should have lightsabers. We often practice with lightsabers, and it gives a great experience of Canne, actually.
Yeah.
And now we see why that technique is so important. People were quick on improvising on this.
All the mobile phones lightning.
Yeah. It's almost as good lightning as before.
Yeah.
And now we see the Serbian cheerleaders over there. They were 7 in their team.
Speak about the. Oh, sorry.
No?
The ones who won the cheerleading competition of this.
Yeah.
World Cup.
That we have had thanks. This is since this is a world championship and not only European. We had a cultural exchange here, and we could experience extreme cheer from the Mauritius crew, who are here with both boxers and cannists, and they made a spectacular show where always when their fighter was on stage with drumming a beat with these protection gears from boxing, and it was a very nice experience to hear them and to see their matches, because it always became very energetic.
Also got another experience here with a flamed can fight.
Oh my God, Arno, that is very cool. I think me and Louise will have to try that out. It's really nice. Okay.
Now the light starts coming up.
Yeah, we around in the space we can see the lights are slowly returning, but not all lights, only some of them. But we are to expect a result very soon, I think. You can see the lights flickering in the background. The electricity has returned to Plovdiv. Other fun Plovdiv facts is that it's claimed to be one of Europe's oldest cities. 8,000 years old, says archaeologists. Wow. And as always with Canne, you have to expect the unexpected.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Wow, the light is returning.
And we got the question about who is in the women's final.
And just after this game we will have the women's final, and it's a rerun of last World Championships setup. It's Nicole Holtzmann from Germany and Margot Fouillet from France, fighting for a club in Bretagne, if I don't misremember things. And that match will start as soon as light and results are delivered again. And around here we can see that many of the boxers have stayed to watch This, because Savate consists of these two different parts. It's a Canne combat, which is the sort of little sibling, and the bigger sibling that is boxe française. And before we had our finals in Canne combat, there were, I think, 8 finals for different weight classes and genders in boxe française. And we can mention that in this new counting system, each judge gives points for the respective sets of the match. And you can get, if you win the set, you get 3 points. If you are almost winning, or it's very close, you get 2 points. And if you are the loser of the game, you get 1 point. And if you don't show up, it will be 0 points. So in a normal game with 3 sets, you can get maximum 27 points. And a minimum of 9 points if you enter into the arena. I guess in this final that you, of course, then should be able to get 12 points, since it's one more set. But this is something we will have to check, because these new rules they're probably very, very clear, but they are not fully implemented so that we understand all policy. Oh, now we will see who wins. And Benjamin Latt wins the World Championship for the 4th time in a row. This is unheard of, and he's definitely the most skilled Canne fighter that has been produced for a very, very, very long time. And Jan Jug did a great work in creating a spectacular game for us. Congratulations to Benjamin Latt and his club Schiltingheim, that is in Alsace region.
And now Nicole comes in.
And now in the camera you see Nicole Holzmann from Germany. Which club is she from? Do you remember, Louise?
I don't remember, but she's the world...
She's the incumbent world champion. She won last time in Varaždin, Croatia, which was the first time a non-French person ever won this competition. Will she be able to match that result? And in the other corner we see Margot Fouet from France. And as you understand, this is a rerun. She was also in the final last time, and we have seen in the earlier matches, both in the group play and in the qualifications, that she is really on the ladder for war, and very energetic. She does definitely not want the same thing to happen as in the last World Cup, but still. Nicole Holzmann is an extremely experienced cannist. So this is a fight between this energetic revenge feeling and a strong experience. It's a very exciting game, really hard to tell how this is going to fall out. We see Margot greeting the judges and the audience in her white uniform, but a yellow helmet. And Nicole Holzmann in the blue helmet.
She had a strong cheer here.
She has very strong support from, it's hard to tell, but maybe it's a Finnish crew. It's also some Serbians standing around here, and some Russians. The FISAV organization consists of 54 countries, and in the female Canne combat, it has been 5 nations represented. And the big difference from the males is that it was also representation from Korea. A woman who was quite fast and impressive, Kim, and she was also practicing eskrima, the Philippine sport. Now we are off.
And I can answer the question that came up. There is no Finnish or Russian woman in the Canne combat competition.
They're feeling each other out a little bit, but now it seems to sort of head off this game. No real dangerous hits. Yeah, that was in the flank on the side of the body. As you can see, Fourier is quite fast in her strikes, but Holtzmann is not late in her answer.
Vi kommer frågan varför det är ryssar och finnar här. Det är för att det är
in the boxing part, the box française, there are participants from more countries than in Canne de Combat, which is a sort of very limited part of the whole Savat family. Wow. There, strike a point with your weapon, you need to hit with the outer 20% of the stick. Otherwise, it's called that you strike with half of your canne, and it's not counted as a point. Rad stops the game and restarts it after directing some regulatory points. Where we break for 30 minutes and 30 seconds of rest, and we can see that in the blue corner here, Nicole is coached by her husband Thomas, and they are in the same club, and Margot Fourier is coached by Guillaume Barbaret, who is the national French coach, the same coach as Benjamin Latt had. And we could just guess what they are saying here, but I would think they have been trying to look for weaknesses in their opponent and saying, you have to go in and do strikes on the rear leg, or be more aggressive or less aggressive, depending on who is commenting. They have to equip themselves again.
Comments from the French side, mostly.
No, the French seem to be quite at ease with the situation, not giving too many corrections. Maybe they feel that Margot is having a slight lead here, but we shouldn't be so sure about that. Holtzmann starts out with a bit of low hits, converting them into vertical head attacks. Now that we can see, as in the last game, Fourier doing many fast strikes with latéral extérieur, trying to push her opponent back and win the initiative for a longer period of time. It's often very good to do a series of strikes when the opponent is a little bit shocked by trying to parry here and there, and the strikes comes from different directions. As you can see, before they strike, they have to pass the cane behind their head for it to be a real strike. Otherwise, it won't count as a strike. Oopa! There were some nice strikes from Holtzmann. And Margot got a complaint that she didn't respect the parade repose rule, that she struck her opponent without taking a parade, parrying the attack to win the initiative back. we see that both fighters manage quite well with their strike combinations when they do their series, and then they back off for a more relaxed, regaining some strength for a new series of attack. Holtzmann was commented, I think, on Sabré, that she stroke without having her stick well behind her head before launching her attack. Yet a 30-second lead. We are halfway through this match. It's, as we could have expected, a very even game. When you see that one of the fighters get a good striking combination, the other one answers as fast with another one. So it's really hard to know what the judges are on the judges' papers right now. And we could say that the point judges in the far left down corner here, or difficult to say since it's a round one, but there is a young gentleman from Slovenia judging, and in the right down corner it's a point judge from France, and in the here next to us is a point judge from Germany.
And the refugee is
The refugee is also German, a very experienced saboteur who just as
maybe 12 different languages.
he's a language genius, this man. He speaks both Finnish and Swedish, which he has learned on long radio wave courses. So that is pre-internet knowledge of language courses.
Okay.
But we are ready for the third round of the women's final in Canne Combat 2018 in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Testing each other out a little bit, trying to find openings. It's a rather typical movement pattern from Foyer, that she moves very much sideways. It's one of her patterns, making long strikes. And these are two quite fast fighters, both of them. But the game was stopped by Holtzmann for some reason. And that's, as an observer, you might see that the fighters sometimes switch hand with the stick. You can fight with either of your hands, whichever is most convenient for that moment. Wow, now it's very nice play. Holtzmann has a quite good defense. She's very fast in her placing her Canne in the right place to defend herself. They are not conserving their energy. They are quite movable through, even we are in the third round. So there is much at stake here. Finalists from the World Championships last time meets again. And a final rest for the last set. The coach of Nicole nods confirmingly to her and seems to say, but this is good. And in the other corner, are you good at lip reading, Louise? Lip reading French.
Lip reading French is not my specialty.
Okay, I thought you had learned that by now. And my lip reading of German is not so strong, but she seems to calm down fast here and drink some water.
But he has started speaking in the French French corner. After the first round, he didn't say anything, Guillaume. But now he has come with some expert.
Guillaume is giving some comforting input here. Secret to us, maybe one of our viewers is very good at lip reading distance on a cell phone and can tell us what was told.
Now we're in for the last round.
The last round. It is quite exciting. Will there be a blackout or will we have a victory? Margot opens up with tough attacks. And she's moving her stick before taking attack, doing different type of armée in order to trick her opponent into where the stick comes from. But her attacks have very short distance, so she almost strikes her opponent with the hand rather than the stick. So that was not point giving, though it was a very nice movement. Now, on the other hand, she maybe got some more value for her effort. Holtzmann is upset of the behavior here, signaling to the judge that you can't do this. Holtzmann gets her head back together and fires some nice strikes. And not giving up. And as we can see, the referee is stopping the game very few times. The game goes on for long. It's a change in the new rule system that you let the game play out more. And it's up to the point judges to define if it was good play or not and increase or decrease your final score. The match is stopped because it's a fault hit area from Fourier. Holtzmann is trying to find an entry point, but does not really succeed. Stop, and the match is over. And as we said in the beginning, it would be very hard to determine this match, and with the new ruling system it's even harder because we know very little about what has been counted and how they see fluidity and variation in these games, and how each judge is viewing this. So it's going to be as exciting for us as for the audience to understand who wins this. Now we see Gerard, the point judge, the referee, collecting the comments from each point judge and handing it in again to the secretariat. Will there be another blackout? We don't know.
We got a question. What is your bet?
My bet. This is so difficult.
Okay,
I
I bet for Margot this time.
Okay.
The French girl.
And I think that is maybe it's prejudice because you have seen her so many. I think Holtzmann kept, especially in the middle of the match, she was very strong.
Yeah, mostly looked at the screen, so I haven't seen that good the match.
So we have different bets here, and that's just showing how difficult it is to determine this game. We'll see. I
said it says Margot deserves it.
But we see if Louise and Arnaud comes out on top of this bet. I will invite Arnaud for a drink in Paris. Okay, so come on.
It takes so much time.
But we can feel the excitement in the air. The German team, the represented here, is not as big as the Slovene, but they are still in the Canne competition. There are 4 participants here from different clubs, 2 from each different club. And it was supposed to also there were supposed to be male participation from Korea, but in the very end it was cancelled. I actually think that the fighters themselves are almost as excited as we are. It was not so clear at all as it was compared to the first match. Was quite clear. Okay, they are gathering in the middle. Da 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 dum. Holtzmann defended her title as world champion. Once more, is both champion 2016 and 2018. Today, this is a big surprise because in the boxe française, I think it was only French gold medals, and in the male competition for Canne de Combat, there was also a French winner. So Nicole stands out here in this sport as a non-French winner. She's very happy getting hugs here from both the Korean participants and from the Slovene team and the other Germans. A cheerful feeling here and getting interviewed by some media source.
I think it's the Chinese media.
It's a Chinese media guy who is here covering the Canne development for China, which is a huge thing because China has invested over 150,000 euros in Canne development in China, and this is probably a part of this. And this is all in the strategy of getting Savat into the Olympic program in 2024 in Paris, where we might see both boxe française and Canne de Combat on the program in Paris, which would be very exciting. And I guess by this we say over and out from Plovdiv, Bulgaria.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, and thank you for a great hosting of this. I hope you could see well the fights. Thank you.